Let's do this.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to CoviDevotion with Beez. I am your host, Beez, and just want to put it out there. This morning, I'm off to I personally feel like I'm off to a great start. Why? Well, if you've been keeping track lately of what I've been up to, on the weekend, me and Karen got a dog, a rescue, and the adjustment process has been a bit intense. But today, like last night, we did some not renovations, just interior decorating to the house, and we changed it up a bit. And now, just to ensure that Luna was able to adjust to the place. Just watching her behavior, monitoring her behavior over the last couple of days, we've kind of gauged where she feels safe and stuff like that. And right now, it's not about obedience and listening to but listening to instructions and all of this, listening to commands and stuff. It's about making sure that she's safe and making sure that she's in a place where she feels comfortable and she's not in a kind of constant fight or flight reactive state. So yesterday, we brought the crate into a certain part of the room, a certain part of the house. We put like dog calming music. We got a night light and stuff. And sometimes you probably thinking, oh, that's overboard for a dog. Hey, to each his own. But for us, we're all like, to us, the rewards is that I had a full night's sleep. She didn't cry in the middle of the night. She wasn't howling or anything. And she woke up and she felt a lot more connected. Like she wasn't whimpering, she wasn't scared, like super scared at me and stuff. She was actually wandering around me this morning. Haven't had the chance to pat her, but yeah, small baby steps. Welcome to CoviDevotion with Beez. Now, I think I'm going to change this title soon because I think I've become one of those guys. I've only had the dog for like 4 days, but it seems like every single devotion is related to this experience. And so I think eventually CoviDevotions will be known as doggy devotions or dog lover devotions. It's not that I'm not going to apologize for it, man. I'm one of those people, right? Anyway, the topic of this CoviDevotion this morning is when God needs a rover. Surprise, surprise. I wrote when God needs a rover. And what I mean by rover is like, I'm going to tell you a story. But first, before I tell you this story, I'm going to tell you, rover is another, and I'm not talking about the Mars rover here. I'm talking about like a dog. But first, I'll tell you the passage or the Bible reference that we're looking at this morning, and it's found in James chapter 2, verse 14 to 18. And I'm just going to read it quickly. Well, hopefully I'll read it properly, but yeah, it says this. The topic or the title of this one in the NIV, or in my version, at the very top, it says faith and deeds. And so this one says, what good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. But someone will say, you have faith. But someone will say, you have faith, I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds. I like that. I'm going to end with that one. It says, show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds. I'll tell you why this one hit home for me. And I really feel that God, my sister was right. God is really using Luna to, and this experience by the power of the Holy Spirit to remind me of who he is. And he's really inspired me in these devotions over the last couple of days. And I'm seeing more and more elements of God, And so I'll tell you a bit of a story and I'll wrap it up. Basically, what the situation was since Luna's come here, she feels very unsafe. And yesterday I was talking about we don't know why, right? And we're guaranteed, or we're pretty certain that it was because of past trauma, and past experiences. It may have been that because it looks like she's definitely had one litter, that she may have been a puppy mill dog, like a dog that is just used to create litters and puppies and stuff like that. and she may have been mistreated and things like that. So it's not too sure, not too sure why, but when she did come into the shelter, she was really skittish, really scared, really nervous. And once again, when she came to another person's house, when she went to another person's house, once again, very nervous, very shy, very afraid, scared of everything. And it took a while to adjust. And once again, when she came to our house, trying to find a place where she could sleep without panicking, a place where she wouldn't be shivering or nervous or stuff like that, or wouldn't want to constantly run away, was once again really tough. But like, I think for us, like during our experience here, me and Karen, since we've had dogs before, or we've had family dogs before, but we've never been the sole carer of the dog. So there's only a little bit we know. We're not claiming to be subject matter experts in any way, shape, or form. And so we're like, we're learning, we're going, Karen's reading the articles, I'm watching the YouTube clips, we're asking friends, we're asking family, and everyone's giving us really good advice and really good wisdom from their experiences, right? One thing that I really like is that everyone seems to be saying, hey, each dog is different and unique. You just need to take your time with it. Don't stress, don't rush. And I like that, because that's reassuring for me that it's not us, the dog doesn't hate us, but she's just scared. She's just really nervous and really timid. But we were concerned because it was like, is this dog ever going to, going to be okay, or feel okay with us? And this is where the devotion part, I guess, comes into it. We went to a friend of ours. We kind of put it out there, like, and our friend, I think she was, as a joke, she messages us back and she's like, oh, you know what would help this dog adjust is if you get another dog. in my house, and in my head, I'm like, that doesn't work. Like misery doesn't like company in this place. How is that going to help? But she had a point. But like, I understood what she meant. I went online and I was having a look, and like Dodo, if you know the company, organization, not the internet company, this company where they make videos like BuzzFeed and blah blah blah, and there's one kind of thing that they focus on, and that is like animal rescue, and they show dogs, strays and stuff getting taken care of and transitioned into either a foster home and then transitioned into a forever home, or going straight into the forever home. And there was a few that I watched where her method wasn't so much madness, but there was merit. There's a story of a dog, the stray, and it's malnutrition, it's scared, it's skittish, afraid of humans, completely afraid of humans. And she comes into the what's it called, the shelter. She comes into the shelter, gets treated, I guess, against her will, kind of thing. Like if she's got like raggedy fur and stuff, they clean her up and stuff like that. But she's not wanting it, or the dog's not wanting it, nothing. And then they go into a home, or like this foster home. And I've watched a number of them where the foster home, they already have dogs. And the family dog, I'm going to call it Rover, right? Rover, I would say, is the conduit between creating a space, or showing as an example how safe the owners are. Not how safe. The dog, Rover, is an example of how that new dog is going to get treated in that household, right? And so you'll see them. You'll see the new dog. I'm going to call it Luna, because Luna is going to come into the house and she's going to be afraid and scared and stay in her corner and not eat, not drink, not do anything. And then you got Rover, and Rover's been there, and Rover knows the owner. And Rover knows that there's nothing to be scared of or afraid of. And so, as the example, Rover starts interacting with Luna and reassuring her and going to her and saying, hey, it's okay. Come, I'll show you. I'll show you how to eat. I'll show you where you go to the toilet. I'll show you all these things. And I will show you that the owner is not a threat. It's actually providing us all this awesome stuff for us to have a great life, for us to, have joy, and to know that we're being served constantly and we're living life pretty like in royalty because of what the owner is providing. You got to watch this. You got to see this. Look, I'll go to the owner and I'll feel loved. I'll get the pats. I'll get the rubs and stuff like that. Slowly, Luna will see Rover's interaction with the owner and understand that it's not a threat, that the owner's not a threat. Slowly, Luna will see the love that the owner is giving Rover and the invitation of love that she could receive if she's willing through what Rover's interaction with the owner. And then slowly, Luna will start to trust the owner because of what Rover is doing as that conduit, because of Rover not being scared of the owner, trusting the owner, knowing that the owner, like being reassured constantly by that owner that he will be taken care of, right? That's what Luna is seeing. That's what Luna is being exposed to. This is what I'm going to talk about, right? God needs a Rover. I want to be Rover to the people who don't know who God is. And the reason why I say this is because, unfortunately, in my experience, I've seen Lunas. No, I'm not going to use the dog analogy anymore. That's it. I've seen so many people come to church and still walk away thinking, I can't trust God. I've seen some really toxic interactions, may not even be in church, but like from, people who claim to be ambassadors of Christ, where I would go up to them and say, why are you with this owner? This owner is driving you and making you do things out of fear, not out of compassion and not out of love. How can you be safe? You're not safe. And so even though the people may be convinced, they're not convincing me that they're not convincing me that God is safe. They're not convincing me that God is a God of love. They're convincing me that God is angry, that God is going to, that God is not doing anything out of love, but he's driving us out of fear. That if we don't do this, then, if we don't do this, then. We have a choice, right? That's where the if we don't, then, right? I'm not going to deny that. But once again, I'm not going to deny, and I will actually promote the method and the why behind God. And God's why is always built on a foundation of love. And so if we can't do that as a conduit and show the world that God is actually a God of love, God is a God that will provide for us. God is a God that we can approach him without being afraid, without being in need and saying, hey, I need this, I need that, I need this, and I need to trust you. If we can't show that we trust God, and if the only thing that we show is that we're scared of God and what he's going to do, then how can people be possibly drawn to him? How can we actually be conduits for God if that's the approach that we're taking? That we're saying, yeah, come and meet God because I'm scared of him. I come and meet God because I don't really know him and I don't really trust him, but I just need to be obedient to him. If I tell that to my friends, as if they're going to come to God. No, for me, I'm the rover in this situation. My life is built on, what I know to God to be. God has provided for me. God is my refuge. God is my strength. God is my provider. He's my comforter. God has been with me every single day, every single step of the journey, whether I acknowledge it or not. God has done so much for me, right? He is safe for me. He's my new comfort, right? Hey, Luna, I'm trying to do my CoviDevotion. Don't be whinging now. God is everything to me. Why? Because he's provided that to me. So when I go out into the world, hopefully when people say, hey, I should trust God. I should trust God because if Beez trusts God like that and he's living a life of joy and happiness and peace and love, why shouldn't I? And I have that opportunity and I can see what's happening in Beez. Not because Beez is awesome and not because Beez is cool and popular, but because Beez is, just devoted to God. And Beez is just surrendered to God and to the leading of God and trusts God in everything. And he seems like he doesn't worry. He seems like he has joy in the times where he should be stressed. It seems like he should have peace when the times where he should be having a mental breakdown. But it's because of God. And if I'm in that same season, then potentially I can have that opportunity. So through Beez's journey, I might want to connect with God. That's how I want to live. Right? I don't want to draw people to God if it's all based out of fear. I want to draw people to God because it's based out of faith and faith alone. I'm going to read that passage one more time because for me, it's how we approach God will showcase to the world what God does for us and what God can provide for us, and that's where the faith comes in. That's where the trust in God comes in, I'm going to read it again. Sorry, I was just going to continue to ramble. All right, this is it. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but no deeds, who claims to love God and says God is providing all these things, but there's nothing to show for it? But can such faith even save them? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? It's like me going to people and saying, hey, God is providing for me. God is doing everything for me. And then, God is actually giving me joy and peace and love and stuff like that. And then they come up to me, it's like, oh, well, show me the evidence of joy and love and peace and, of God in your love and that in your heart. And you're like, oh, I don't have it. People aren't going to be convinced of that. People aren't going to buy into that. And people are going to say, no, it's fake. And then we continue, it says, and then I think this is the most important part. It says, in the same way, but faith by itself is not accompanied by faith by itself, if not accompanied by actions, is dead. It's just empty words. And then verse 18, it says, but someone will say, you have faith, I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith with my deeds. For me, I want to be the guy, I want to be the rover that says, hey, come to the owner, come to my master. Why? Because my master has provided everything for me. That I'm living life large. That I'm talking life in joy, peace, in happiness because of my owner, right? Because he's the one that I can trust. He's the one that I can rely on. And my deeds are, hey man, during the times where I'm like, where like, I guess when there's tough times, God is still giving me peace and joy. And I can go back and look back and showcase where God had provided for me in those spaces. And hopefully in return, the Lunas of the world will come through the rover to go and see the master. Hopefully I didn't kill the analogy, which I also have the reputation and the tendency to do. I'm going to show you. Oh no, Luna's just looking at me. I was hoping to kind of tilt the screen, but yeah, in time. Anyway, I'm going to close in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this morning, and thank you through this brand new addition to the family that you've shown us your amazing love, your mercy, your compassion, and your grace. And Lord, I pray that we can be the rovers of the world, that we can draw Lunas, the ones that are afraid and not afraid from previous experiences, have trust issues, are just scared. And are needing support, needing guidance, needing you, Lord. I pray that we can show them and showcase what you've done in our lives so they will be drawn unto you. Lord, I pray that you give us another amazing day. We thank you for your love, your mercy, your compassion, and your grace, and an opportunity to connect together. Be with us now. Give us a great day ahead. I ask this all in your loving name. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me for CoviDevotion. Thank you so much for joining me for CoviDevotion Live, for Instagram, for YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. This is a pre-recorded one. I think Thursdays and Fridays are going to be non-pre-recorded, simply because I'll be able to work from home. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I still hope you receive a blessing for the guys that are on Facebook, Twitch, and live later on at 9 o'clock today. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and I think this is how I'm going to do it. My new routine is waking up at 5. Hopefully, I don't look too tired. Anyway, I got to bounce because I got to get to school. So see you tomorrow morning. In the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace out. Much love. Be a rover.